Hey everyone, it's Sandy again, or Stitches, and as you haven't noticed or haven't figured out yet, we're going to be talking about food. So let's talk turkey. It is right after Thanksgiving, so don't mind the dad jokes. So let's talk turkey. So we're going to start with breakfast. We're going to work our way over to a little bit of lunch and snacks and then dinners. But before we get started on all the food that's spread out over here, and we're going to do a couple of trials. So I'm trying to get healthy on this trail. We're going to try some healthy stuff, and we're going to see how this stuff really works. So to get started, first we're going to talk about the cook system of how all this food is going to be cooked. And I am a big converted now, just like my shoes, you know, I've switched over to trail runners instead of boots. We'll talk more about that in the next video. But I'm a big jet boil person. I've had this jet boil a day and an age, and if you actually look inside of it, you could probably tell that it's pretty gnarly because it has seen some war, okay? But I realized that for a week-long trip or even a 2-week-long trip, jet boil would be fine because, you know, you bring a few mountain houses or peak fuels, and that's really all the dinners you're going to have, and then you're coming back home. You're back in the truck. So, but jet boil does an amazing job in boiling water. Like super fast, super efficient on your fuel because it's got the windscreen on the bottom, so that way the wind can't get in there, and it distributes the heat perfectly around this pot to boil water really fast. And even the new versions have like the cool little indicator thingy on the flame to show you when your water's hot. But jet boil, how much I love you. You have your downsides, darling, and you're not gonna see this trail. I apologize. It's been so long. All right. Anyway, we're shoving that aside. Now let's go with what we are going with this trip. Let's look at this. So I went on Amazon, and I'll link this in the description, and I got a basic MSR pot, and it has a lid, and I've turned this into now my cook system. So the lid pops off. The lid comes off like that. This becomes now a handle, like so. And then I also have my little carabiner coffee cup in here, which is super light. See how light it is? And it's got a carabiner on it like that. So I could clip it onto my pack if I wanted to or something. And then I have the new Soto Windmaster. The Windmaster. That sounds like it should be a movie of some kind. I see swords in this movie, by the way, if I think about it enough. So anyway, this is the Soto Windmaster, and super tiny. Look how little it is. It's so cute. Look, aww, it's so tiny. So this goes on top of your standard butane gas can. Just like, you know, just like the jet boil. This uses the same fuel as jet boil. And it has a self-ignition, so the little red button right there, you can ignite it there. And then this is how you control your gas. Now, one thing about the jet boil, that it did not have this for one, and it did not, it didn't have this, like the little button was way down in there, so you had to kind of put your fingers down into the jet boil to control the knob. So this right here is really nice because it's well away from your pot and any heat that's going on up here. And then these flip out like so, and then this piece can come off too, by the way. I just keep it on there because it's kind of a pain for me to get it on and off. I'm sure there's a system to it, I just haven't figured it out yet. And on trail, here we go. We're ready to rock and roll and make some chow. All right, so speaking of chow, let's start talking about food that I am going to be taking on the trail. So I'm just gonna sit this off to the side. And if I could have my lovely camera assistant, Alyssa, please put that off to the side for us. So, thank you, Miss Alyssa. And so before I put this cup away though, we're gonna get serious right here. We're gonna get serious. Coffee. Now, some of you are not coffee drinkers. I don't know what's wrong with you. There's medication for that. It's called caffeine. You need it. It's good coffee. So I was trying to figure out how on earth I'm going to do coffee on trail. Now, I've done shorter trips where I've done coffee singles. I've done different things. And I'm like, but I really want that homebrew taste because that gives me all the jazz in the morning to get up, get motivated, and get hiking. So I said, well, I have this thing at home. It's kind of in my hurricane preparedness kit. It's this. Now, this is a filter with a little cup ring, okay? So you just put your cup, you put it on top of your cup. It's pretty stable too, see? I mean, it's not going anywhere. It's not like it's gonna tip really easily. And then you have to get these special filters. So this fits inside here. You put your coffee, this was from my last trip. You put your coffee in the filter just like you do at home. You pour your hot water over it, whammo, bammo, shlammo, you got coffee. And then you dress it up as you wish. However, look at the size of all of this. And I'm gonna take my cup out because my little baby cup don't count. Look at the size of this. That's too big. So I decided to go with instant coffee, and I will try many on the trail. I'm not a huge instant coffee fan. I have a couple of favorites that kind of work, but we're gonna be trying, and through trial and error, we're gonna find the best instant coffee on the market that matches the closest to your coffee at home that I can find on trail. So with that said, this is not going with me on trail. All right, going with the jet. See, it's by the jet boil because it's not coming with. All right. So now let's start with breakfast. All right, I'm not creative, guys. I mean, you know. I also got Peak Refuel biscuits and gravy. Now, I've seen reviews on this, and I cannot wait to have this myself. Now, the Mountain House version is pretty dang tasty, I will say. It's chunks of biscuit, you know, and the sausage gravy. The Peak Refuel actually has like biscuits, like whole biscuits are in this. And I'm so curious to see how that is going to be when I rehydrate it. All right. So this is breakfast. I mean, most of the time, honestly, I just eat a granola bar and I get on trail. I don't feel like cooking in the morning. It's just an extra mess to clean up. I have my coffee and I want to get moving. So, but this, for those cold mornings, that's my go-to breakfast. And then maybe I'll add some stuff along the way as I find it on trail. So we'll put that off to the side. And now let's talk lunch and snacks. Lunch is really, for me, lunch equals snacks. And as you saw in my video, my last video, snacks are very important. Even on a little trail, I will take snacks. And I have a wide range of snacks, and there's a reason for that. All right, now you need protein, you need your carbs because they equal energy, and you need sugar because they're instant energy. So, you know, I have beef jerky here, basic Sweet Baby Ray's beef jerky, and this happens to be really tasty and amazing. And as you can see, it's empty because it's somewhere on the Tarkiln trail I did yesterday that this was eaten. So sorry about that, I haven't bought any more yet. But so you have your protein, and then you have, you know, some carbs, fats, and a little bit of protein also in pistachios or any kind of other nut or you know, cereal bars, anything with like a good lot of carbs, but carbs burn slower than sugars. So this will be for the longer burn, plus a little added protein for that muscle rebuilding while you're on trail. For me, that's really gonna be important. I get sore after trails, I'll be honest. And having a lot of protein in my diet really helps with that. It helps that recovery time. And then I gotta have my sugars, because these are like, you're hiking down the trail, you're going, it's all going good, you're taking pictures, you're having fun. And then you hit an incline or you hit a point on the trail where you face plant. Your body does not want to take one more step because you think you're going to die. That's where you sit, reevaluate your life choices, and you eat some sugar. This will give you an instant boost of energy and get you further down the trail. So have some of this. Now it burns off fast, but it will give you that oomph to overcome that wall that you may hit. And I got a couple of varieties. Like, these are real easy. I keep these in the pocket of my pack, and I just nosh on these as I'm going along, as I'm starting to feel that wall coming up. Or like when I sit down and take a break, I have peaches and I just eat them right out of the cup. No sense in getting fancy on that. All right, so that's lunch and snacks. All right, so before we move on to dinners, I do want to bring this one up. I forgot to pull this one out. This is the strawberry granola Peak Refuel. Now this one is not made with hot water, it's made with cold water. And when you mix it all together, it makes like a milk. So it's like having cereal and milk with some dried strawberries in it. And a couple of people I've watched do reviews on these. They've had mixed reviews on them, but they said, you know, if you just want something different instead of just hot oatmeal every day, which as you see, my breakfast options aren't the greatest. So this is a good option too. It's like having a nice cold bowl of cereal in the morning with some strawberries added to it. So good stuff, good stuff. All right, so for dinners, we're going to turn dinners into its whole other video, because we're going to do some trial and maybe some error. I think more error than trial, but we're going to try a couple of things, and I really want to spend some time going through some of the dinner meals, because my whole dinner method has changed since I moved to this new stove. So with that, I'll leave you here, and I hope everyone's having an awesome day. Get out there and get muddy.